Hi, today we're going to learn about the market revolution, or at least the major impacts of the market revolution. Some historians actually say the market revolution starts in the late 1700s and lasts to the very early 1900s. But the really heart of the market revolution is that early and mid 1800s. Some of the things just to note about the market revolution is manual labor changes forever. There's new technologies that help change that, to improve manual labor, to get more production out of it. Some of the most famous examples of this market revolution changing manual labor, Eli Whitney's cotton gin. Basically, what are you going to wear back then? Wear wool, it's heavy, it's just scratchy. You don't really want to wear as much of that if possible, especially in warmer climates. Cotton's softer, smoother. Silk, very expensive, very rare. So cotton is highly desirable. But the problem with cotton was, picking the seed out of the fibers took a long time. Very arduous. People's fingers would get ground up and cut up. Picking the seeds out of the fibers so that you could process it into shirts and textiles and other things. But Eli Whitney's cotton gin really changes that. One person can do the work of, maybe even a couple dozen people picking through. You basically feed the fiber through there, you grind it, it has these little teeth, rubs it against the grate, and the seeds come out, the fiber comes out the other end. And it really speeds up the production of getting those seeds out, makes people much more efficient with cotton. This actually does two things, one to the north, one to the south, or at least primary things. To the south, it makes slavery much more valuable. In fact, some historians believe that slavery might have been slowly on the decline, might have even possibly potentially even extinct. But slaves become more valuable because cotton becomes more valuable. You can produce cotton quicker with less labor now. Therefore, more people want cotton. Cotton was always in demand, but the long, painstaking process has been eliminated with the cotton gin. Likewise, to the northeast is full of textile mills, and the textile mills can be given more cotton at a cheaper price. So the cotton gin not just cements slavery and makes slaves more valuable in the south. At the same time, in the northeast, you see the northeast having textile mills boom, and some of this cotton goes to the northeast, some goes to England, but it really does change society. Cyrus McCormick is a mechanical reaper. Some people say one farmer now can do the work of potentially up to 50 farmers, depending on the time and the particular thing. But you look at that, and this allows less and less people to work directly in agriculture, and more people can open up to work other kinds of jobs, whether it's factory jobs in the north or this or that. The mechanical reaper is a big deal, and the concept that we at one point had over half of America working directly in agriculture to today where it's like less than 2%. It's largely moved forward by people like Cyrus McCormick, who are making agricultural equipment that changes manual labor forever. One person can do the work of more men with these tools. John Deere, a horse-drawn steel plow, allows farmers to be more productive, changes manual labor. So this new technology is changing labor. It's making labor more productive. It opens up other opportunities across the country. You also see internal improvements during this market revolution. Internal improvements, things like, it could be things like roads, bridges, canals that help the transportation of goods, but also new technologies that help transportation, like railroads, the steamboat. Remember, the original highways were the rivers. Rivers like the Ohio River, which flows into the Mississippi River. These are very valuable. That's why New Orleans was so valuable. Remember, that's why Thomas Jefferson wanted to secure the mouth of the Mississippi River. That's why he actually went to France asking to buy part of the mouth of the Mississippi. Then they offered him the whole Louisiana territory. So these internal improvements open up new markets, new places where you can sell things to, new places where you can easily farm and then ship the farmed goods easily out with railroads, canals, bridges, roads. These internal improvements open up new markets for selling, new markets for producing. And once you start getting steamboats and railroads, you can do bulk shipping for relatively cheap costs like never before, which allows this manufacturing, this industry, agriculture to grow even further. So internal improvements are very, very important. Immigration, especially in the North, is a key thing. The market revolution is fueled by immigrants, and likewise, the market revolution fuels more immigrants coming in. Because as we start to become more productive, have more manufacturing, whether it be textile mills or whatever, you start to see more immigrants coming in to take these jobs. The North, during this time period, starts to become more interested in manufacturing. You see Cincinnati grow as a manufacturing center, northern cities, New York City, Philadelphia, grow as manufacturing centers. Whereas in most southern cities, you don't see this big boom in manufacturing. I mean, you see a little bit in Baltimore and New Orleans and St. Louis, but for the most part, the southern cities, they fall back in that peculiar institution, the institution of slavery, and they focus their efforts and reinvest their profits back into slavery, producing cotton, tobacco, other things. Whereas in northern cities, you start to see more manufacturing, more production, and it increases the sectional divide, it increases the cultural gap. And most of the immigration ends up going to the north to work in manufacturing, to work in some of these opportunities. And I'm not saying that no immigrants move to the south or out west, but you do see more of the immigration. The north is booming. When we go into the Civil War, the north is growing with immigrants, growing with manufacturing. And there is a stark difference that is growing between the North and South that existed before the market revolution a bit, but it's growing much more wider during the market revolution. The market revolution is kind of fueling this sectional divide.